Spring had finally arrived in Pineshadow Forest, and for Bramble the bear, that was a huge relief. The snow was gone, the flowers were out, and most importantly, he'd stopped slipping on every third step. It felt like peace and quiet were just around the corner. Of course, in Pineshadow Forest, peace and quiet are usually a sign that chaos is about to make a grand entrance. One morning, Bramble wandered into a clearing and found the entire forest gathered around the big maple. At the center was Moss Whisker, the lynx, the forest's unofficial leader, mainly because she was too dramatic to be anything else. She cleared her throat with flair. "Animals of Pineshadow Forest," she announced, "we gather today to begin preparations for our annual spring festival." A wave of cheers erupted, and she paused dramatically this year. "We honor Bramble the bear." 100 pairs of eyes swung toward Bramble. He froze, letting out a small, confused squeak. Moss Whisker raised a paw for silence. "Yes, we honor him for his bravery in confronting his mysterious frog-phobia." Bramble immediately covered his face with his paws. Oh no, not this again. Whether he liked it or not, Bramble became the festival's main attraction. The squirrels built a giant wooden frog statue in his honor. The beavers carved signs that read, "Celebrate Bramble's courage." The foxes started a rumor that Bramble could sense frog energy from miles away. He seriously considered going back into hibernation. Then Moss Whisker appeared with a clipboard. "Blue Bramble," she declared, "will lead the parade." He shook his head so fast he almost fell over. "Nonsense," she waved him off. "You're a symbol now." On festival day, Bramble was trying to hide behind a boulder when the park ranger showed up. "I heard there's a celebration," she said cheerfully. "Is it about the frog issue?" Bramble let out a loud, miserable groan. The ranger scribbled in her notebook, "Frog sensitivities still present. Good to note." Desperate, Bramble started gesturing wildly at the absurd scene. The giant frog statue, the silly decorations, the parade banners. He was trying to say, "This is all a misunderstanding. Please make them stop." The ranger stared. Then her eyes widened in realization. "Oh, you're overwhelmed by all the frog symbolism." Of course, she turned to the crowd. "Everyone, please minimize the frog-shaped decor for the bear's emotional comfort." The animals nodded solemnly, and then replaced the giant frog statue with a giant acorn wearing a tiny frog hat. Bramble decided this was somehow much, much worse. Just as the parade was about to start, a huge gust of wind knocked over the giant acorn frog statue. It began rolling straight downhill, right toward the festival crowd. Animals shrieked and scattered in panic, but without even thinking, Bramble charged. He planted his paws firmly and stopped the rolling statue with one massive shove, saving half the forest from being flattened. Silence fell over the clearing. Then the silence was broken by an explosion of cheers. Bramble saved us. He protected the festival. He defeated the frog spirit. Bramble sat down, catching his breath, but a small flicker of pride warmed his chest. Later, the ranger put up a new bulletin. "Local bear displays remarkable bravery." also still confused by frog hats. And for the first time in a long time, Bramble didn't mind what the forest said about him. They no longer saw him as the dizzy bear or the frog-fearing bear. They saw him as the one who saved the festival. Strong, calm, kind, and okay. Maybe still a little confused. But Bramble could live with that. As the sun set, Moss Whisker walked over to him. "You know," she said softly, "for all the confusion, you turned out to be a wonderful symbol after all." Bramble blushed beneath his fur. The festival ended with laughter, stories, and only one minor incident involving a raccoon who tried to wear the frog hat as a helmet. All in all, it was the best spring Bramble had ever had. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed Bramble's adventure, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from Pineshadow Forest.